Hey guys, hope everyone's well. Right, I'm quickly dropping onto this. I've been messing about with this in my spare time, and as you can see, it has no back wheeling, so it's kind of stuck in the middle of the shed. Probably not the brightest idea, but I've done it. I was sort of expecting parts to come a bit quicker, but never mind. I've got parts here now to get it mobile again, so I can push it outside, out the way. So now they're here, I'm going to jump onto it. This bike, can you hear that rain? It's done nothing but rain and rain and rain here. I'm waiting to test Dan's bike. I can't take it out. Anyway, this bike, I am trying to get it from sitting in the garden for them 3 years on the tightest budget possible to running an MOT'd. So the jobs I do on it are not going to be probably the best, I will say. So as I say with everything I do anyway, it's not an how-to. I'm just trying the challenge of getting something that sat in the garden for 3 years to MOT'd and on the road in the shortest and cheapest time possible. So I've literally been rattle canning loads of bits, giving them a bit clean up. The worst part on it was the rear end. All the suspension linkage, the swing arm was in a terrible state. So to prevent it from just getting worse and worse and worse, I thought I'd put some paint back on them bits to try and obviously prolong its life. So I've got a battery, which has come. I've got chain and sprocket kit, which is here, so I can get the back end back in. I've got all the service stuff, oil, filters, air filters, spark plugs. And what else we got? Oh, I was working on this late last night, and I took the rear caliper off to clean it up. Weirdly, all the pistons and everything are spotlessly clean, but the bolts holding it on, one came out and one just sheared off. Typical. This is obviously typical of a bike that's been sat for so long in a garden. It's to be expected, so I'm just going to tackle each bit as I come to it. So the bolt in the caliper, let's get this, which I've cleaned up all right now. It's all cleaned up. Like I say, the pistons are spotless, but the pins holding the pads in absolutely seized solid, and one of the bolts holding it to the hanger has seized absolutely solid. Luckily, how could that rain? Wow. Luckily, it sheared off and left a bit of stud hanging out, so I welded a nut to that, hoping the heat had transferred down and out, loosen it off. No, that nut snapped off, then another nut snapped off. I went through welding 5 nuts on till it eventually broke free. So luckily I've saved that. So I'm just waiting for pins now. I say the brake pads are here, so I'm putting new brake pads in. The back brake pads were non-existent. I don't even use the back brake on my bike really, but I do see some people riding and dragging their back brake. They don't realise the great big foot's on the brake pedal. So the pads are completely shot. So first job and the last job of painting, I'm going to do the swing arm, and it literally is going to be a quick get the rust off it and blast a bit of paint on it. It's not going to be the most amazing job, but bottom line is I just want to put this bike on the road and I'm going to use it. So let's have a look at the swing arm. If you can hear me over the rain. Wow. Maybe I should shut the door. Right, here's the swing arm. So you can probably guess what state everything else was in under there. You know, like I say, it's to be expected because it's been sat in a garden. So I'll get this cleaned up and we'll get all the bits bolted back in and get this bike in one piece so I can then push it outside to do my other work. Weirdly, all the bearings are absolutely spot on. Like I say, if it doesn't need changing, I'm not changing it. I'm doing this on a budget. We'll call it the bodge up bike. So it's not being done properly, to be totally truthful. So yeah, we'll get that done. What else we got? Oh, I'm not going to bother spraying the shock because it's cleaned up all right. It's got a bit, I might touch that in with a brush actually. I don't want to spray it because all this is plastic and it'll just peel off anyway. I'll probably clean this end bit up and just give it a very, very quick tidy up. I'm actually going to pop the new battery on first. It's one thing less hanging about so the KTM can have its battery back. What I'll do when I finish this, I'll say it's a little mission to get it from abandoned in the garden to on the road. I shall total up what I've spent on it, which hopefully is not a great deal, and let you all know. Look out for them bikes that have been abandoned in gardens. That may be worth doing. Even if you do them and get them roadworthy and sell them at the end as a bit of a money earner. There we go. Right. I've rested that on a little toolbox, look. Right, let's pop the screws back in there so I don't lose them. Give all this a bit of a quick clean. Tell you what though, some of the parts don't clean up too bad. I'll say the worst part was all the swing arm and suspension linkage area. That was in a right mess. Believe it or not, this bike's only done 23,000 miles. So it's been off the road more than it's been on the road in its lifetime by the look of it, considering it's a 2006. A bit better. The rubber boot's a bit torn, it'll have to do. Have we got lights? Yes, we've got lights. Now surely there must be a battery strap over that. I wonder if that's what someone will put them cable ties on for. Can't even see anything that a battery strap could fit to, unless it's got something on the underneath the seat that presses onto the top. I'll have a look. Anyway, that's that sorted. Right then, I've washed all the grease and muck off this. Now we've got to get all the flaking paint off. Also, We've got a bolt snapped off in there that holds this little guard on, so we'll drill that out and try and re-tap it. That one needs cleaning, and then obviously when it's all done I will actually pull these out and re-grease all the bearings and everything, wash them out and grease them. I'll say it's just a quick bodge job. Oh, I think we'll actually just get the grinder on that, just skim it over and get the loose off, get in where I can and get it cleaner. Right, we've had a good clean up as best as possible without going down the expense and time of blasting and powder coating and so on. Like I say, it's making my skin crawl a bit doing it like this, to be fair, but it's going to preserve it a bit better than what it would if we'd left it as it was. So in places I'm going to do a bit of an I-build primer to bury some of the really bad bits, because it is still rough. I will state that it is still rough, but we'll try and make it a lot more presentable than what it was. You know, if we was doing this properly, the best route would probably be source a better swing arm in better condition, because it is quite bad. But it's still serviceable, it still works, it's still safe, so we'll just tack as much paint on it as possible and bury the badness. So please don't take this as it's a proper sorting out. Like I say, we're just trying to get this bike roadworthy and for an MOT. I'm actually quite looking forward to using it, just buzzing about on that. It'd be a nice easy light bike to drag out the back gate there and go for a buzz about on it, and not care too much if it gets knocked and bumped and falls over. We all know what happens there. Anyway, and maybe, like I said, I think I've mentioned it, maybe at a later date we'll do something with it. I reckon it'd be good fun to completely change its appearance, just for a bit of fun. Right, I think I'm going to cack a bit of I-build primer on here in a real bodgy sort of way, and then I've got, what have I got? Where is it? I've had this knocking about for years actually. It's Plasticoat. This actually goes on really thick, so it'll hold a multitude of sins. That's the plan. Anyway, I'm going to get on and see if we can get this bit tidier by hiding all the terrible bits with black paint. And then what we've got to do next, we'll clean the back wheel up, get the new sprocket on, and gradually it'll go back together. And it's looking like within a week of picking it up, it'll be all done and dusted and ready for an MOT. That'd be nice. Right, that's that cleaned up a bit. I'll give the fixings a quick glance over, not too mad. Perfect. Not. It'll do. Right, I've just spotted something. So the way these sit in, obviously that flat there goes against that flat there, but I'm guessing at some point someone has changed the sprocket on this, not dropped these in correctly and put the round bit against the flat like that instead of like that. So as you can see, they've dragged the material down. So I'm gonna have to dress that up because the bolts ain't gonna sit flat. As it's just dragged down, I'll try breaking that little burr off first. If not, I'll have to carefully dress it back. Right, I've managed to dress them back. They're all sitting in there now, as they should be. I know what someone's done. They've just replaced the sprocket with all this still in the wheel. I haven't noticed these have gone in a bit and turned, and they've just done them up. So what I'll do is place the sprocket on and get them all on the move so I can see what's going on in there. That's better. Sorted. I'm just going to clean that bottom bit of this shock. I say I'm not going to paint this, I'm just going to tidy that up a bit. And it's good to go. I'm only pressing really light just to take the surface rubbish off. Yeah, that's doing it. That'll do then. Bodging complete. I'll just get in there with a paintbrush and just cover it up. I'll say just slow the decaying process down. Oh, I've missed a bit, look. Right. This is terrible. This is what I'll be doing when I was like 10. It is making it better though, isn't it? Paint over that rust. Bodging complete. That'll do. Oh, got paint on my shiny bit, look. That's no good, is it? There we go. Right, shove that in the vise to dry. Right, back to that snap stud that I should have actually done before I put the primer on. Anyway, I thought, right, simple enough, I'll drill that out. So I gave it a little tap with the centre punch and popped the whole lot out. A threaded insert, so this is 6mm. I barely touched it and it just popped it straight out. So it was obviously about ready to give it up. So this is where I'd normally probably make my own insert on the lathe, 6mm, and drop it and weld it in. But as this is the bodge job bike, I've just tapped the frame, 8mm. There's enough meat in there to do it, so that's what I've done, I'm afraid. I'm ashamed to say. So I'll use the 6mm that side That has a little insert into the plastic to reduce the pole size, but that I'll just washer it up and put an 8mm in it. I want it back on so it sort of gives a little bit of protection to the shock. So that will do. Yeah, I'm going to hang it up now and just get some black on it. And it's quite, well, it ain't late in the evening, but it's getting on, so I'll just do a couple of coats, go down home, have dinner and stuff, and come out and get another couple of coats. And by the end of tonight, I might be able to shove the swing arm in. Beats sitting down and watching telly, I guess. Right, let's hang it up and get the black on it. Right, just a quick catch up on what we've got left to do. So we've got the chain tensioners that need repairing. That bolt's bent, and that one, the threads are all stripped on it. So we're going to cut these out and put new bolts in. I've got one, I've just got to find another one. I'm sure I've got one somewhere. All the little bits for the tensioner have been painted. These go inside the swing arm, but I'll still just clear the rust off and actually just grease them up. We've got the brake arm that's been painted, ready to go. Wheel spindle cleaned up, ready to go. Caliper all cleaned up, ready to go. I am just waiting on the pins for the brake pads. Hopefully they'll be here today. Got the fuel tap to put back in, as I had the fuel tank off, cleared it all out and put sealer in it. We've got new front sprocket, rear sprocket's already on the wheel, new chain, new rear pads, new front pads, just bargain basement ones, they'll do for this bike. As you know, we're doing it on a budget. We have new spark plugs, oil filter, air filter and oil. Now the oil, I have never seen that before. It's a bag. Yeah, obviously trying to save on plastic. Well, let's have a look at that actually. So no longer a tub of oil, you get a bag. I want to open it, I don't want to stick a knife in it for obvious reasons. God, can I get in there? Yes. Wow. Yeah, I've never seen that before. Literally a bag of oil. Yeah, keep that in a safe place. I want a welding spark and that's all over for that bag, isn't it? So, what am I going to do next? I think we'll modify these. At a reasonable time of the day now, I can make a bit of noise. So, if I can get the back wheel in at least, we can at least push the bike out of the shed so we can get on with the jobs through the day. Right, let's get on with these then. So, I'm going to chop these off first. Luckily, they're welded on the outside, so it should be quite an easy fix. See, they've got the welds right in the inside of these tubes. If they'd been at the back here, I probably would have broke the tube out and just cut the bolt out and took it that way. But no, I'm gonna struggle to get into the welds there. So we'll just chop this off flush, hopefully just tap the bolt head out then slice down into the hole, then drop the new bolt into the slot. These little square washers I've just literally bodged up, and that should keep the strength in it with them welded back in. Grind them flush now, and that should break the weld off. Hopefully they'll just tap out now. process. There's one. Two. Now we'll slice down into that hole and drop the new ones in. There we go. That's it. With that plate on, we'll weld the plate as well. That should be strong enough. Right, swiftly moving forward to 4 AM the following day. Everything's dried off and we're ready to go. And it's a little bit chilly in here. Can't you tell the winter's coming? Ooh. Anyway, I've got everything painted. It's acceptable, that's all I can say. But I think I'm ready to put the back end back in. So we've got the swing arm done, we've got the dog bones done all hanging up here. I've got the old suspension knuckle done somewhere. The shock's all clean enough. I think first job is get down on the nice cold floor and wash all the area of the frame out where all this is going to go. Yeah, I don't want to lie down there, but I'm going to.
I used to have a job, but I got laid off. I used to have a wife, but she said she had enough. I used to have a car, but it got repossessed. It seemed the Lord had found someone he likes to test. I've lost all a man could lose, that's why I sing the blues. Had a mother and a father, but I was disowned. A sister and a brother who won't pick up the phone. I used to have friends who listened to my plight. Now they all stay clear out of sight. Seems all that remains is the news. That's why I sing the blues. Seems all that remains news. That's why I sing the blues.
Right, I think that's enough on this for this morning. I've obviously got all the usual stuff to get on with, so I'm not going to get carried away and start soaking up all my days on this. I am just doing it in my spare time, what I call spare time, where I'd probably normally go down the house and rest. So I'm attacking it sort of early mornings, later on in the evenings, and I did work on it Sunday, but it's coming along all right actually. It's surprisingly coming out okay. I know I'm calling it the bodge job, but I'm still obviously doing things to keep it safe, and so it runs all okay. So next on this, we got next on this, oh yeah, fork seals and the service. So spark plugs, air filter, oil change, and front brake pads. I'm going to double check them. If it doesn't need them, I'm not going to change them just yet. I've got new ones in stock for when they do wear out. So it's going to be interesting to see how it rides and runs on the road. Hopefully it'll be all okay. And more so, the bit I'm liking is going from 3 years in the garden to MOT'd and roadworthy. So yeah, I'm looking forward to riding it actually. Just let's say I'm going to keep hold of it and zip round it through the winter months. On them better days where you get a nice sunny crispy day, I shall use this, because obviously through the winter you got all the salt on the roads and everything, and it does destroy bikes, to be fair, and I don't really want to do that to my other one at all. This, although I will still look after it while I'm using it, it will still get cleaned and washed down and checked over, but I think it'll be an alright little runabout. So yeah, anyway, next video on this, which if I get up early tomorrow I shall do a bit on it, or if I go down the house later on today and get bored and come back up, I'll do a bit on it. So yeah, next stint on this, it should be finished and ready for an MOT, and I'll probably take the camera along with me to the MOT place to see if it does go through or fail. I think it should pass. I've pretty much gone over all the things that I'm aware of with MOTs, and it all seems fine. So there we go. Anyway, I'm going to shut up. I've got other work to get on with, proper jobs, and I need to get stuck in. Cheers for watching, guys. Take care.